is have a chat. In this chat, I'm going to ask some questions, and there are no rights or wrongs, so you can't be wrong. So it's just a chat about your ideas, the sorts of things that come into your head. Okay. So to get going, you know, if you're going to play sport, you do a bit of PE. You're going to sort of limber up first, do a bit of stretching and everything.
Yeah.
We can do the same for your brains. Okay. That's the only thing I asked. Is I said make sure they bring their brains with them. Have you got your brains with you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? You wouldn't be alive, you wouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah, because we won't know what we're going to say.
You wouldn't know what you were going to say. So do you always know what you're going to say?
No, she doesn't always.
Why do you mean not always?
Sometimes
Hang on,
hand
do one at a
up
time.
and
Yeah,
then her head is empty.
Hand goes up and the head's empty.
Yeah.
So you go on. See, that's an example. So can you? Yeah, go on.
You might not know what someone's going to say, so you might not have an answer quickly.
You might not know what someone's going to say, so you might not have an answer quickly. So does that mean your head's empty?
No. Yeah, pretty much.
Your head? Sometimes your head's empty.
Yeah.
Is that right? You can have an empty head?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'd like to do is, just for 5 seconds, and I'll count on the fingers, for 5 seconds quietly, think about nothing. Did you manage that? Who did manage that? Who didn't manage that? How did you not manage that?
Because I can't forget about the Halloween disco today.
Can't forget about the Halloween disco
I keep
today.
thinking about the Halloween disco in my costume.
And your costume. Okay, what I'd like to do for 5
Forget
seconds,
about it.
for 5 seconds I'd like you not to think about the Halloween disco.
I never going to. I didn't think about it. I can't not do that.
So can you think about nothing?
No. I can't.
What do you say? Can you ever think about nothing? No? Why not? Because you had a dream about a king cobra that was biting your leg. Okay, can you ever think about nothing? Why not?
Yeah.
Are you thinking about nothing now?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Play outside the playground.
Playing outside in the playground? That's what you're thinking about. So can you ever... Chilling out on the sofa. Can you ever not think?
No, I can't. No, I
Hang on, shh.
The only reason you can't think is when you don't really understand something.
So if you don't understand something, you're not thinking. You agree?
Pretty much.
Kind of?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. What do you think? If you don't understand something, is it because you're not... does that mean you're not thinking?
Yeah.
What do you think? You don't know what you're thinking of?
Oh.
So how do you know you're thinking? Because what? She doesn't have a brain. Didn't bring your brain with you. Didn't bring your brain with you. What I'd like to do is, just with the person next to you, is to come up with a sentence that says what thinking is. What is thinking? So answer that question, just with the person next to you. No rights or wrongs. Okay. Use your words together, that's fine. What is thinking? Group day. What's thinking? What did you come up with?
Thinking is, say if they give you a sum, like for example 12 plus 3, you've got to think the answer is 15 because I really knew it. And you've got to think the answer, so you get 12, you've got to think 15.
Okay. You said you knew it. Is there a difference between thinking and knowing?
Yes.
What is the difference between thinking and knowing?
When you know, you don't really have to think.
When you know, you don't really have to think. So the more you know, the less you have to think.
Yeah. You know what?
So
If you're thinking, then if you don't know, then you've got to think much more. But if you already know it, then it's just like it just goes click, and you've got it.
So does that mean that adults think less than children?
No.
Bit of a leading question, I don't know. The more you know, the less you have to think.
Yeah.
So if you're a real boff, if you know loads and loads of things, you don't actually think very much.
I don't know to think.
Well, you don't just about the things that you know anyway.
You are?
Well, usually you don't. If it's like a sum that you already know, then you don't really have to think about it. You just have to look into your memory and click. You got it.
Oh, memory. Okay, so there is a difference between knowing and memory. Do you, hands up if the answer to this is yes, do you know you're alive? Okay, hands up if the answer is yes to this question. Do you remember you're alive? You remember that it's the Halloween disco? So okay, with the person next to you again, what's the difference between remembering and knowing? Okay, brushing a little bit. This group here, these are really, I'm glad you brought your brains because these are really good questions, these are that you're working on. This group here, what do you think? Memory and knowing, what's the difference? What did you say? Yeah. What did you come up with?
Sam came up with it.
Okay, what did Sam come up with?
I can't remember what he said,
Sam, can you remember what it was? So, in a conversation about memory, you can't remember what he said. Okay, alright. Irony's not lost. This one, for you first.
When you remember something, you're going to remember what you're going to do.
So remembering is remembering something you're going to do.
And if you're not remembering, you remember.
And if you're not remembering, you're not going to remember. What about knowing then? Do you know that you're going to do something, or do you remember you're going to do something? Okay. Go on.
Knowing is where you know something really quickly.
Quickly, okay.
Yeah, like you've done it before.
Okay.
And remembering is like when you take a little while, when you go back.
Okay. So do you remember to breathe?
Yes.
Of course you do. Why?
Because if I stop breathing, I feel like I'm like that.
So what if you forget to breathe?
I'm like that.
So you always remember to breathe?
You can't forget to breathe. It's programmed into us or something.
Hey?
I think it's just programmed into us or something.
Breathing is programmed into you.
Yeah, and like you know, as soon as you're born, you don't have any knowledge except the only knowledge you probably have is you have to breathe.
That's an instinct.
That's it. So the only knowledge you're born with, you have an instinct. What's an instinct?
Instinct is when you know something from when you're born.
You know something from when you were born. Do you remember it or just know it?
No.
No.
It's just like
No,
So-
you just remember it and know it. You have to know it when you're born and you have to remember it for your whole life.
So you're born knowing it, but it's important that you carry on remembering it.
Yeah.
Where does that knowing come from when you're born? Where does that knowledge come from when you're born?
Your parents.
When you're born. Go on.
Our brain.
So it has to get into your brain when you're in your mummy's tummy.
That we don't get. When we get in
baby? Okay. All right, try another one. Just again, while we're on the subject, with the person next to you, does a computer know things? Does a computer know What was the question?
It was.
What was the question?
Does computers have memories? No.
Does computers know everything?
Almost. Does a computer know things? Know stuff, know things. Yeah, what do you think?
I think no, because, well, when they're first made, they have to be programmed first by a human, so technically, no, they don't actually know.
Is that like a baby has to be programmed by its mummy? What's the difference? What's the difference?
The difference is that people get told stuff when they're older. They don't get programmed to know the stuff.
But I thought the baby was born with an instinct.
You're not programmed.
Yes.
No.
So there's a difference between a program and an instinct?
Yes. Program is when you get a control remote and you just go boom, boom.
Okay. So, carry on.
Well, when it's programmed, it's like anything that's technology that's made, not like baby. Baby's not technology.
A baby's not made?
Robots. They're only made by
Humans.
Yeah, they're made by humans. They're not made by loads of
Rescue that one. Yeah, okay. So what did you think? You two are working together. What do computers know things? What makes you think that? You have a brain. Okay. The gentleman here we're talking about a computer knows things as a memory stick. So does that mean it remembers things? You can say things onto a memory stick. So if you can take a memory from one computer and plug it into a different computer. All right, so here's one for you then. And again, just with the person next to you. What's your name? Jack. If me and Jack swapped memories, would I become Jack?
Yes.
With the person next to you, just talk